I'd now like to show you our civil records search function. This is where you can search for a name across all of the civil records that we have available to us. So from the home page, if you hover over the civil records menu item, you will see that we have the different pages for the different types of civil records. We've got 4 census sets, and we have the Tithe Allotment books and Griffith's valuation. So I'm going to select this function to search all civil records. Now, from here, we can search by surname, forename, year of birth, give or take up to 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, or 10 years. We can search on the parish or townland if we know it from a drop-down list. And we can search all of the data sets or a combination of any of them. So you will notice here that we have actually available to us nearly 350,000 records to search. Now, I'm not going to be able to press this button now because that's far too many records to retrieve from the server. So I need to narrow down my search a bit more. And really what I want to do is search by surname. So the important thing about this is that we have introduced wildcards that will make the search a little bit easier. For example, if you are looking for the name Riley, which is quite a popular name in County Cavan, you will find on the National Archives site that Riley is spelt in many different ways, sometimes with an R-I-E or an R-E-I, sometimes with 2 L's, sometimes with only 1 L. So I'm going to use wildcards to help me find all the different possible spellings that there are. So I know, for example, that Riley starts with an R, but is the next character, the next characters are vowels, but in what order? So I'm just going to put an asterisk there. And then it's followed by an L, and there may be 1 or 2 L's. So I'm going to put another asterisk and then a Y. So it starts with an R, ends with a Y, and there's an L somewhere in the middle. And we can now see that the number of records has reduced to 22,036. That's still too many to retrieve from the server. We want to get that number below 1,000 before we can actually submit our search. So I'm looking for a Thomas Riley, but again, Thomas could be spelled with a T-H-O or just a T-O. So I'm going to go T asterisk, which is my wildcard, O, and I don't care what it ends with. And if I move on to year of birth, well, we notice now that the number of records has reduced to 961 and the button has turned a dark blue. So I could click it and retrieve 961 records. But let's take a look at the year of birth. I'm going to say, I know he was probably born somewhere between 1845 and 1855. So I'm going to enter 1850 and then give or take 5 years. And now we will see that the number of records is reduced again to 49. So I'm going to click on that now. That's probably a small enough number. So those 49 records are now displayed in the grid here. And I can further filter on any of the columns within this grid. Now, if I want to know where the person lived, I can click on the townland, and the townland will light up as a red dot on the map. So I can move around and see where all these people lived. And that may give you some context that can be helpful. But the other thing I notice here is that within the surname, the very first surname is actually R-I-L-L-Y. Perhaps that's the one I'm looking for. And that might have been hard to find on the National Archive website because there's no E there. And who would suspect that it would be spelled R-I-L-L-Y? So I'm going to have a look at the household here. and we can see all the members who lived in the same household. And then if I look at the image, I'm brought to the original image from the National Archives. And actually we can see that the handwriting is excellent, and it's quite clear that they are R-E-I-L-L-Ys. So there was definitely a transcription error there, which may have caused problems for people trying to search for this family on the National Archive website. But using our wildcard, we have found it quite easily here. Thank you very much for listening. I'd like to hand you back to Michael now.